I don't know where you are. I want to thank God again for another edition here. The Community Engagement Global Mission. You're most welcome to the special here today, talking about trafficking. And those of us who might be able to come in, you are most welcome. We're here today. I concluding on the awareness on human trafficking, focus on the community engagement global mission here here in Trenton, New Jersey. And again, it's another opportunity to be part of this great human race, and we all have time to express help in our community and make sure that our community is safe. Today is a very interesting and more concluding date, as we all know, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We are here to talk about rights and responsibility. Today, we're going to be talking more about human rights, but it's going to be on this topic trafficking, the effects of human trafficking, and the role of civil society. Uh, as we discuss these issues, I'm very much delighted to invited few guys. Those of us who have the time to come in, you are most welcome. And just hit me if you did not receive any invitation. I'm very much pleased to be here today because this is our job, and this is what we are called to do on the assignment. And we've been, talking about, uh, human trafficking, trafficking of persons. When you go back and see, 4 years ago, we've been on this, and the community engagement is a mission, not just an organization. And we have taught wise to not to just call people into something, but to make sure that everybody has some taste of it and know that they have interest in what we're doing. Because you see, it is when you have interest in what it means to be part of the community engagement that, of course, we see that your interest is more important. I'm so chilled about this whole thing about awareness and how, wherever you are in the world, you must let your voice be heard, especially when it comes to trafficking. It's not just a kind of petty thing we'll talk about. We have modern trafficking, people that traffic in a daily basis, and traffic calls. You can see the indicators are there. It's not a prevalence. You heard Dr. Shirley talking last year on the show, promoting the this whole thing on trafficking. Trafficking is a crime, right? But happens all know that in modern trafficking, people are not actually trapped because we have a lot kind of economic constraint. We talk about economic and the development, economic development too, when it comes to human rights. And when you look at the base approach, when we talk about human right based approach to development, then it has to do with engaging our community. I think it's all about not just inviting people to come to this program, but to allow them and to understand that this whole thing is all about engaging people who are like-minded, no matter where you are. Again, we want to invite you, if you are listening, we want to say, well, you are most welcome. And this is a time in our history, in the world, that there are a lot of things going on. People that traffic, they find themselves in traffic, or they find themselves in traffic, but they don't know what it is a trafficking situation. And so these programs are here to give you a hint and information that will be very sensitive, that you can use whenever, wherever you are going. And so your children, as your children go to school, and they could find, those are things that everybody face in Africa, especially in developing countries. So, trafficking is a crime. That agree. Now, on the community engagement level, to raise awareness. We're coming from this level when we begin to raise more awareness 4 years ago on Facebook. Now it's just more than raising awareness. It's about raising awareness and taking action. So we're going to be inviting people when we're talking about issues. We're going to be having big gathering. We're talking about events. But why it is true that we have to be part of what we're doing, it is also true that you must have passion. Okay, our concern is not just about bringing people onto this part of the platform, but our engagement is all about letting people get have develop the interest in whether they want to be a part of what we're doing, which we are making sure our community are safe, and look back and see what happens to little kids in our communities. And mothers are trafficked, right? Uh, Even men are trafficked, but prevalent. It shows up that women have been trafficked more than actually out of five, one out of every five, one or two women have been trafficked in every time, in every meeting, in every day, every time. By the time you bop your eyes, somebody in some part of the world has been trafficked, mainly women and children. So out of start by child labor, because of poverty. Poverty is the baseline, but it's not only poverty. There are people that are having money, but they are trafficked. They don't know they have been placed in those kind of situations. But victimization, victim endured physical, emotional, and trauma, including abuse, exploitation, and deprivation. So trafficking, the effect of human trafficking, we're talking about uh, the victim is physical or emotional trauma, sometimes the long term. And it's very difficult. I was listening to one lady that tried to contact her, but it's very difficult to get to her. But with what she explained in her relationship, okay, she was abused in her relationship, and with the kind of thing she went through, she could be trafficked. A very easy for someone to be trafficked if she was not careful for her life. uh Trafficking, if you go back and check, modern trafficking have been a long time stop. Okay, so what we can do, what are some of the things when people are going through trauma and they're being exploited. What are some of the things that are the organizations? I'm talking about civil society. What is our responsibility? Yes, as we are to do, raising awareness, educating people about trafficking, about how they can avoid trafficking, how they can know whether that situation of those people or whatever, in whatever case, being a trafficking situation, so that they cannot go into something that really they don't know what they're going into. So as we begin to talk about victimization and people who have been trafficked, how can they be released out of those trafficking situations when they found themselves into a trafficking situation? So um, I thought about it. Last night I was meditating. I was somewhat meditating, and I began to think about some of the days that we were back there trying to make ends meet. And people would come and say, look, oh, my man, we're going to Nigeria. We're talking about 10, 15 years ago. We're gonna do XYZ. There's some opportunities, and it was good that some of us were not looking at the condition we found ourselves at the time, because we were not just in poverty, but we still needed to find some means to make our life better. But we wouldn't have actually given ourselves to those kind of rhetorics, because there are a lot of people come out today to say, oh, let go got some job right in Dubai, and We want to take you to Dubai. When we take you to Dubai, we're going to give you a job. We're going to find maybe you have one room apartment. You just need to pay $300, and some of the guys back in Africa will gather all their parents, takes money, and some of them don't even have, but they will sell their even property because they want to get out of Liberia. So when they get to that kind of situation, they get everything. By the time you get there, and somebody who have told you that you will be given a home on apartment and all that, so pay that kind of money. So now you arrive. By the time you arrive, the boss come for you. The agent say that, well, they belong to take you to an unknown destination or place, whatever, and say, okay, this is the place you're going to be. When you enter the place, you see all the other beds in the one room. But what did it say? It said, well, you're going to have an apartment. So the next thing you see, your client coming to pick you up and let's go to work, man. You're already there. So you can't come back again. Trafficking. So that's more than trafficking. And even in education, there are a lot of good scholarship. We can find scholarship and some of the things that we see around is we need to check it out very well. Call somebody, make a fact check track on them, make sure that that school is legitimized, probably have everything that they are saying. Do a background check on some of the guys, probably who are telling you to go back and check, do your own research to know whether that institution is actually a guarantee. And that's what the community engagement is all about. And I want you to, as you engage you, just go to our webpage and send a note to us. Maybe you want to talk to us, you want to have an appointment and know more about what information you receive. And it could be information that could be against you, information that is good for you. So you don't have to just say no, I'm not going to go to that kind of situation. That school is a 419 school. What you can do when you find yourself into such modern trafficking situation or any information that has to do with scholarship, it could be true. Okay. Now, so some of the effects we found public health situation in trafficking, people are found in trafficking in many ways. It affect uh their life. Okay, trafficking individual often face poor health condition, lack of access to healthcare, and at increased risks of sexually transmitted infection. So when people are trafficked, probably they don't have access to good health. You can see that they put them in the place where they don't even know their own record. They don't know them. Some of the countries like not to buy the loan. Dubai is one of the country, but Oman and all these countries don't have access, don't give you access to some opportunity, especially help, because you are looking, they take you to be a refugee already. They take you to be nothing, okay? Because why you become a slave, you can't go back. So the effect in public health, it also creates a public health situation where you can access uh health care, poor health, and sexual transmission infections and everything, STC, everything. So uh it's just unfortunate if we don't understand the awareness of really know the surveillance or something that we can see is prevalent, that this is true, that this is a situation that I find myself into trafficking. So trafficking situation can be can be detected. You can understand it if you know, like if you listen to some of these tips that we all the time talking about human trafficking. If you follow us, we've been giving awareness. They have red flags. You can see the red flag. People see the red flag, but they don't take action because of the thing in their own mind that, well, okay, I still got to go, okay, and not in this situation where we find ourselves, and we've all dictated, we're all fair play. we need to be talking about the issue, but we need to take action. So the third thing we see, economic impact. Okay, human trafficking creates economic disparities. Okay, leading to also disrupt legal labor market. It's kind of, it's an effect to our economic. So economic impact is you don't have access to nothing. So what can you do in that situation? Nothing, because you find yourself trafficked. So sometimes we say prayer, but again, you got to get some hotlines, call if you don't have access to telephone. They will not give you access to telephone. They take everything from you. So how can you access those information you will need in order for you to get to your embassy if your embassy is in that country? Okay, those are some of the things that you need to gather, and so you find yourself into that kind of economic impact. Okay, it doesn't take you anywhere, because in that situation your whole life is at risk. So what we need to raise awareness, and that's why the community engagement is all from 4 years, 5 years ago. This is our responsibility. Okay, and we find ourselves into this situation because sometimes, if not all of us, some of us, I just, we just can't understand why, we go through some of the situation we go through, and we cannot fix it ourselves. Because I tell you, we cannot fix it because the situation continue to be a kind of crucial one. So once you find yourself into trafficking, it's very crucial. So it's not like it's not like, well, you didn't find yourself there, you took yourself there. No, you didn't understand it. You didn't know that you were going into such a kind of situation that you find yourself. So again, why it is true that it's good to do your your research, to know what are that institution, or what are the information given to you is is really relevant, or is good for you to take the risk to go to, maybe to go find, your data bread. Everybody looking for green pasture, because especially when our country is not actually open, and the economic situation is so constrained, and those are the effects. Those are the gateway, and then how those who are traffickers take advantage of our people in our nation, because our country is going through an economic situation. So that is the third thing. Okay, social isolation. Victims are often isolated from their communities, which impede their ability to seek help or reintegrate into society. So that is something that we all know about. When they take you to those places, when you are trafficked, they don't want you to be closer to your embassy. They don't want you to be closer to anybody. They don't want you to know anything about that community, because, well, they just don't want you to get out. They want to use you according to the way they have brought you in, uh, and then everything else, you're going to be isolated from it. Social isolation. You don't have to go to game. You got no. In fact, your right is ceased. So, and human right is an entitlement. That's why we promote this awareness. It bring us to the place where our community need to be safe. Let agree that we have people coming, like we're talking about the open border, which is not a bad thing for the border to be very much tight. Because ask yourself the question: if on my house, and I just open my house, my fence, and tell the guys to come in, or anybody can just enter the fence. Why? What the essence of in building the fence is to stop intruders, or anyone who will just come that I don't know who coming in. Okay, now what bring trafficking into the country, and some of the steps that the government is taking is not a bad step. It's relevant. It's all of us, kind of protection. Let agree that. We have traffickers in different countries that is prevalent. Their country is violent, is spot for the crime. So the border is open. So they come through those places. You don't know them. They were not inspected. People come to America with visa where they were in fact, before they came to America, even the embassy, they were inspected. They knew them. They don't just give them visa. So they came to America, they were inspected. But you don't even know the guys. So trafficking or traffickers can also traffic people into a nation that have an open border. And when they come into the nation, what happens? The same thing they were doing back there, they might do it in that nation because they gave them the wrong. And mind you, why it is true that if an open border also, the same way to bring people for green pasture. There are people that bring people in country like America in the West for green pasture. Let's go. We're going to give you a job. We're going to give you there. We're going to find a place for you to stay. And that's what happens to many people. Everybody want to have their bread. Want to have you know time for us to work together, to travel together. Then somebody would say, no, don't travel. No, you want to travel to make to see the difference and to make end meet. Okay, but the only problem that many of us would not understand that the time of traveling of the people and the process and who is responsible for you when you travel. So I think trafficking and social isolation is one of the things that our traffickers actually bring to the table. When you come to that place or wherever they are taking you, they're gonna isolate you from your relative. If you have relative there, your fellow brothers and sisters from the same country, nobody know your number. In fact, you might not even have phone to communicate. That is the social isolation aspect of it, because they don't want you as a trafficking victims to get in contact with your embassy. They don't want you to get in contact with anybody because you have been trafficked, and they want you to work for them. The reason why you have been trafficked is probably maybe they take, for instance, the agency, you're working for the agency and you make it $2. So every week, if you are making 300, you're giving them the 300, they're giving you $100 or maybe just $50 because they brought you, so they try to take their money back. Sometimes they will say you work for maybe 6 months, 7 months for us. So that is more than trafficking, okay? Because what happens, it also you don't mind doing it. The band is poor already and bringing it to America, so you feel that you're coming to the state, so you don't mind it because after the 6 months, you feel that you're going to actually succeed. Now that trafficking is bad, of course, but it also help that person in the future because they wouldn't have come. Okay, so the one that paved the way, the agency, I would tell you 1 year you're going to work for me. I'm only going to be giving you $50 every week just to help you to be eating until this time. Okay, those are all things that happens when it comes to modern trafficking. When it comes to the education, we know that many schools will tell you there's scholarship, right? And you just need to pay probably maybe uh, 25% of the money, and then all the other one is on scholarship, okay, or 50%. So you agree, and you don't get a plane ticket, and you need to pay the bowling fee, the place you stay. Probably maybe everything comes out to 700 or $1,000, and then you try to work it around your family because you're on a scholarship to come to Europe or somewhere, just because you want to learn. So that what happens, that is more than trafficking. Okay, what happened is that they gave you a place to stay, but initially during the arrangement, it was like you come into a place, your one room apartment, you're paying for this, and then you're gonna be maybe we'll be feeding you or whatever thing was discussed, only because you want to go to school. So now, by the time you enter the country, that's a different news. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the place you're gonna be sleeping. One bed right there, and the other guys right before you have the bed, and you have a three or four bed in a one room. But it was said that you are coming to a place for the one room apartment, and you pay the money, right? So then you can't go back. So when you get to the school, the first day of orientation, they read all the people name. Your name came up, yeah, right? And now they are saying to you, okay, you'll pay probably 5% of your money, and you still have about 90% of the money to be paid. So before the class start, we'll give you 2 weeks. You need to pay the balance so that the first semester or whatever. Now you in it now. You're already in the school. The people that took the money from you did not pay the money to them. Okay, so why it is true that you want to go to school? Why it is true that you came to another country and it's better than your country, but you're in a trafficking situation. You have been socially isolated. Your economic impact, the economic impact it has on you, the public health of safety they have on you. You have been victimized. Okay, so that situation put you in a place unpredictable situation where you cannot choose anything else to say. You will not say anything because how can I find myself into this situation? And so two things happen in trafficking. When people are trafficked, they are trafficked um, in different situation, sexual exploitation. It depends on uh, probably the situation in different areas. You might be trafficked because well somebody you're a very beautiful lady, and they see you to be beautiful, so they have sold you. You have already having your client, the guy who will take care of you. So the guy to know you, they took your pictures, they sent it to him, so that's sex trafficking. So what happened is that they're going to put you into that situation where you're going to stay to that man's house or to a place where he comes in and have some time with you. So that is sex trafficking. So they do that, and they get the money. They pay them. You already in a situation you cannot report. You don't even know the way out, but you have been found in that situation. So whether you are beautiful or whatever your statue is, your appearance can also be attracted to traffickers. Okay, they have some rich guys, but they like to play fun, and they want to just women, just to abuse women all over the place. So they use that situation to subdue you, and they use people to traffic you. And then when they bring you to that place, to the nation, your health, economic impact it has on you, the social isolation they isolate you, you don't have any phone. And so what happened? Every time they feel like coming in and with you, they come in the room and you guys have some time, force you to do anything because you're already in it. Probably to the extent we know, if you do your research well, they got exploitators, sex exploitation, in the sense that maybe group of people every day come to do something, and they take money from those who probably come in, and then the person who brought you is collecting that money because you have paid certain money, and the person who you pay the money to is not around again. The person who received you now become the one that takes care of you. So we are placed in this situation because of our economic situation. So as we discuss this issue, our role as civil society is to raise awareness, campaign, educate communities about the sign of human trafficking, prevalent strategies and resources that is available for victims, people who find themselves being victimized. Try to give information concerning uh, those who you can reach, give the hotlines. So when you find yourself into trafficking, contact uh, the hotline and call, and then you can be, you can be access, you can access opportunity. We need to raise awareness on that. Support services, provide shelters, counseling, and rehabilitation programs. Civil society responsibility. That is our role. Buttressing government effort, and then accessing opportunity if we have, to make sure that we provide these services to victims so that they can be restored. They need counseling. It's a long-term effect. Sometimes it takes time. If some of the guys have weaker resistance, it takes longer time. They don't want to see no man again. Especially when I've gone through those kind of situation where they were beside being trafficked, they would have raised. They don't want to talk to any man again. They just want to be themselves. So trafficking is, yes, a crime, but it can be minimized, though they cannot stop it. Like I said, the law is there to regulate. If there were no law, there would be chaos. If there were no civil rights organization, there will also be chaos. People will not understand their rights and responsibility. So, as we raise this awareness, you should also know your responsibility as a citizen in your community to take responsibility of some of the things that goes on as a leader in your community. As we're talking about reaching out there to have these awareness in person and also virtually, to make a massive awareness in the mark on those who will understand that we ought, you in the community as a leader, as a community leader, you can make an impact. You can change your community, because one thing I noticed as a community leader is that with other communities getting involved, having interest, just because, well, maybe some of us don't have interest because we don't have the money, probably no donors funding, and nobody helping us, so we cease with the awareness, right? So, and donors actually are looking for institutions that probably their requirement could be 2 years in existence. You got to have this kind of budget. You got to do this. So the requirement can also stop other institutions from doing the job. Now, we need to begin to engage civil society. We're talking about big organizations to understand that other civil society leaders, whether they were starting in 1 year or whether they are not having a grant, how do they have grant? How do they go about what they're doing except you empower them? That is our responsibility, to talk to government, to hold government accountable. And go back in Liberia, see our international organization in the West. I mean, not in the West alone, but in developing countries, leave the West, go to give help to us, but let the government actually be the form that they should go down to the locals, empower the local organization, the local communities, with the information they need and the resources, and it is based upon what they have that they can be able to now raise awareness. I'll have these different resources and centers, uh, shelters, and other things provided for victims. And also begin to raise awareness, increase awareness for people who are or who will be or may be trafficked if there were no awareness. So this is our responsibility as civil society to raise more awareness, and our responsibility as duty bearer, children of people who are um who may be trafficked, is to take action, make choices that will better your life, not to put yourself into something that you could be trafficked. Why the street is not easy? Job, oh, there no job, no money, no this. Yes, that is it. That is fact. But the fact that there is nothing, you make choices. You are responsible for the choice you made. So now the consequences is when you are trafficked, based on the choice you made, that you're walking on the road, you are so beautiful. So uh one a car just stopped for you. Oh, little girl, please come. Oh, you're beautiful. I like you. Okay, let's go. Can I take you to Dubai? Oh yes, I would like to go to Dubai. Oh, then you're dancing, right? Because of the opportunity you have heard about. So you agree, you went with him, whatever you guys did, now you're planning with all your parents knowing about it. Sometimes they would tell you, don't tell nobody, this thing, yeah, it's just between you and myself because I don't want people to know, then you'll not go. It's a sign. Don't tell anybody about this deal. I trying to help you. So when you tell people, well, then of course you're not going to go. Okay, those are indicators. Those are red flags. So traffickers are many. They comes in many ways. They is God Himself. Sometimes they talk about job opportunity. Okay, let's talk about that. We got job, and by the time you get there, we're going to be giving you the job. So you're going to be concerned about where you're going to sleep, your host and all that. So they know already. They plan it for you. They tell you this is what you're going to pay. You're going to be in the hotel for 2 days, and then we're going to uh, carry you to a place to your place after 2 days. So you're not there yet. They're pursuing to go. They're telling you everything is going to be fine. So the agency in your country and the agency there are coordinating cleverly. Okay, so when you are being trafficked, that means you agree to go, you pay the money. When you get there, now you're already there. You can't come back. You don't have the money to come back. Even if you had the money, it's not possible. So I should conclude on this topic as civil society responsibility is to have this community engagement, encourage active community involvement in prevention efforts, including reporting suspicious activities and supporting local initiatives. There are some suspicious activities going on in our communities. How can we link it with our national security? People around, we got the hotline. Call them and look, we got some suspicious guys coming up here every 5 o'clock in the night or in the evening, and we think that we're not too satisfied with them. So can you come to a certain time to observe them, maybe question them why they come that time? Now, the reason why community need to take initiative, the community engagement is going to more or less be engaging community in our effort to bring about this awareness. Okay, you have suspicious activities going on, and when you know those suspicious activities, it's simple to know them. Okay, it's just simple to know them, and it's just not about us talking. It's about the response, our action. What is our action? Are we taking action towards some of the things we find out in our community, even in the church? As religious leader, like all of us, uh, we have problems also with church leaders. People that traffic in religious organizations. Sex trafficker right there. So wonder why even the people want to search the church, because the church have become not just a church. The church could be the place of solution, of integrity. But now, a day now, the church becoming a place where, well, once you give me money, I can host you and make you to be probably what I want you to be. So the church becoming more than just the church. So I should raise this awareness. Our responsibility as leaders is to take action. Don't forget that you're clothed with the responsibility to take actions and make sure that your community is safe. I don't mind, talking to people who are prepared for us to talk about the issues. I don't mind engaging people who we're talking every day, we talk one on one. It's better to talk one on one. It's better to engage people and talk to them so that we can find a common ground. But it has to be from the community level. So civil society, the reason why we need to have more time is because we are breaking the gaps. In fact, we are not breaking the gap. Let me not say that. In order to break the gap, or probably to fill the gap, we need to begin to come together. For those of us who have experience, um, we don't have to talk about this experience. For those of us who have experience, civil society leaders have been divided. We have been divided for many years because somebody is in the middle to divide us. The church is divided because somebody is in the middle to divide us. Husband and wife is divided because somebody is in the middle to divide us. Family are divided because somebody is in the middle to divide us. Community is divided. So, but the only way we can really cope and trying to reduce, not to totally eradicate that trafficking, is for us to be in unity, to agree, having these roundtable meetings and discussing this issue with care, with very careful mind, not to just say it. It's just about, well, us saying something. And I I I I I always tell people we can say something and we don't see it coming to pass because we don't have the capacity to do it. The resources is not there. So civil society have to be very vigilant in our pursuit, uh, to conquer this net mail. It is epidemic because when people are trafficked, it creates a lot of situation in their family. It breaks the gap. It separates people from their family, and what it does is also create a kind of insecure situation in a community. So we can be our brother's keeper. What we can do as community leaders is we can bring this thing as a massive awareness. Teach ourselves, come together like we are planning, having a kind of fresh conference coming up. I think it should be in March. We're going to be talking more about community engagement, right? And how can community get involved to engage probably the stakeholders when they need resources in order for them to take action in the communities. Now, it's not going to be more or less something that has to do with government. It has to do with you responsibility. So we have rights as community leaders to have access to information. Let's take advantage of this right. Our responsibility is to take advantage, right? And our responsibility is to protect ourselves because it will protect our community. It will give the information the community our dwellers need. Even if they don't want to accept it, they will have the information. It will begin to come together, have some roundtable discussion with leaders of the community, and not to only be looking at handout. Because, like you see, if everything is color from Africa, then everything, what will you do? So begin to take initiative and begin to empower yourself. I come into the place and realize now that, look, I don't need to think about this person. I don't need to think about that person. I don't need to think about this. Let us go this way, because this is where we are going. This is our goal. This is what we believe that can happen for the people in those communities. Do we need information? Do we need sharing information? Do we need resources? Do we need? Let us talk. Let us get to the round table to talk about these things. Meet donors, people who might have the opportunity and say, "Oh, Jarvis, I like your program." So there's no time to waste. There's no time to be on the round table talking about issues that we cannot solve. The reason why NGOs, and I've been in the field for long, and I was suppressed. Our institution in Liberia, many institutions are suppressed. And even right now, you can see, if you go back and see, even in some of the document for the human rights advocacy, the name of the Children Assistance Rescue Mission, all these different institution names are in that document because it was because of their effort, because of their thematic area, that the United Nations Human Rights Section would invite them to those meetings and train them. But if we are not bringing the same organization back together in order to fight against our societal issues, we have a gap. Until that gap can be filled up, man, we're going to be losing battle all the time. We just want to be doing it like self. I'm the big guy. Like if I go to Liberia and say, no, I don't know about it, that let only these people know. Limit it, no. Let it be open, but let it be our objective. We don't want to impress people. Let us do what we can do. Let others do what they can do. And that's where we have come as community engagement. We have come to the place now where we don't mind about whether you want to be part of what we're doing. If you want to be part of it, we agree, come, let's do it together. But we're going to do what God called us to do. Let's do our part. Let's do it together and see how best we don't look at me as the person who want to initiate it. No. Oh, then the credit come to me. So I'm not going to support Jarvis because Jarvis is the one that is doing it. It's not going to hinder me. No, it's nowhere going to stop me because that is the vision that I have. It cannot stop my ministry. It cannot stop the vision. It cannot stop anything from the selling in my life. And I want to encourage somebody because we're going to be more talking about next month. We're going to be talking about men abuse and how can we raise awareness against the abuse of men, and how can we empower ourselves. I've seen a lot of gap. I see a lot of disappointment. I see a lot of setback. We can see back and see in the next future if things continue on this path. What will the African leaders, what will all of us do in order to empower ourselves? So that not only that you can bring good to your community, your passion must not be limited to getting the phone before you can go. I went in a lot of institutions here, and I think, well, most of them is off for the money. They're not off of a vision. And the reason why we need to begin to double our effort is because if we don't do it, nobody else can do it. It's almost like you're not supporting your home, but you're supporting outside. Okay, and you cannot have an open border in the country. No. And those are situations that we need to talk about. Trafficking is prevalent, and those are the soul. Those are areas that make it more prevalent because people come that you don't know in your house, in your community. You can't open your community. Your community need community leaders, and those leaders need to be ready to address issues. You might fall down today, but you will get up tomorrow because, well, the vision would tarry, but it shall not die. So all we need to do is to keep the ball rolling, keep informing the people, keep teaching, and don't stop teaching the people. Don't stop in the middle, because somebody will feel they get weak because situation is not going away. Things are caught up. Make sure to do what God has called you to do. And I want to thank God for those of us. Well, I'm just sorry that we can, but emblems, Ambassador Clarence. I understand. Well, you can come in, but I'm just sorry. For those of us who I just sent a link to, I'm not holding you responsible, because I just wonder if you would have. I know that most of you are busy. You got your own things to do, and I'm not holding anybody accountable for not coming in, because this is why I didn't put any flyer, and this is how we're going to be doing it. Okay, only on the major events, before we can put flyer up for people who come into those events and it confirmed. Because why? Because we want other people to participate. We want to make sure that we reach the real people now. Okay, let them take responsibility of their communities. Okay, we can do everything here. We need to begin to look at empowerment the people that is experiencing the economic strain, the people that is going through what they're going through, the people that will be trafficked, the people that need to know and need to get this information. Next week, I'm going to be coming up with uh, a rather information to share with you on where we're going, how we can get there, what are some of the things we need to get there, and if we cannot get there, then how can we encourage others to get there? So I want to thank you for listening, and you can think about the bigness of what you're doing, how small you think limit your vision. And I want to congratulate those of us who actually have been with us all the time. I always like to say thank you, continue to do what you're doing. And everybody has a vision, and everybody is pushing for something, but we can only do it together that can change our communities. Okay, that is why we believe at the community engagement level. Those are coming on the board want to say, well, you're welcome, but I want to see interest. I want to see. It's not just about um let get there, right? It's about let's do it together. Let's do it together. And we're going to be coming up with schedules for especially with insurance. Got Brother Hinant, and we're going to be coming up with Dr. Carries and other guys who will be part. He's going to be on the committee, one committee on the board, but Carries will be one of the committee on the board. Okay, he's not on the board of director, but he's on the committee on the board. He's going to on the on committee of the youth, and so we're trying to restructure some of the things that will make us to be active to carry on what God wants us to do. Okay, so it's open, and I want to thank you and thank you for your patience. Those of us who will listen to the state, take control over your communities. So basically, our role as civil society is to raise awareness, campaign, support survivors, advocacy group, coming up with engaging policy, advocacy, changing policy in our community, in our nations, collaborating with different organizations, fostering partnership among government agencies, NGOs, and different groups. That is our role, okay? And then engage our community, and that's what we are doing. I think we can make a big difference in our society if we all do it together. This is all about changing mind and changing attitude. Again, I want to thank God for this opportunity given to us. And those of us who are listening, man, we cannot make the world a better place. We cannot make a community a better place. If we be divided. No, we can come together, collaborate, raise awareness, and let our people in our community understand what it means to be trafficked. Let them understand, let them have the red flags, let them know the indicators. Thank you. And again, apology to those of us who are not able to come in. This is a interaction. Hope that we can have better time to discuss these issues. But again, this is our responsibility here. Every Friday at 12 o'clock, we come here and then we have our community engagement. And today, it was very interesting to talk about the role of civil society in addressing trafficking in our communities. Thank you, and until we